Alright, so I've got 10 of these, there we go, wooden jack-o'-lanterns that I've got to make from pre-orders that I've done this past week. Fall's coming around the corner. Posted on my Facebook and on my local community, and people like them. And I also had some pre-orders at a local show that I did. So I'm going to make 10 of them today, and I made all these without using a CNC or laser, well, sort of, but I'll get into that. Now each of these pumpkins should be made out of one of these cedar fence pickets that I got from the local home center. This is 6 feet tall, about 5.5 inches wide, and you can get one seed pumpkin out of this plus some scraps. So I should be able to make 10 lanterns with 8 pickets. Should. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you how many of these jack-o'-lanterns I've made, how many were painted, how many were not, and then I'll kind of show you the numbers of how much profit I made and what I sold them for and all that stuff. So hang around. After I set my stop block, I cross-cut a total of 8 8-inch pieces from the fence picket. I only need 5 of these pieces to make one lantern. The remaining 8-inch pieces I'll set aside and use them to assemble extra boxes down the road. I was able to make 11 jack-o'-lanterns out of 7 fence pickets. Each fence picket had an extra 6-inch piece left over. I set those aside to make some simplistic pumpkins. As you can see, I used a crosscut sled on the table saw instead of a miter saw. I did this simply because my miter saw isn't set up for repeatable cuts. I was able to secure the picket to my crosscut sled with just my hand strength. Having the stop block in place allowed me to make quick work out of batching out the lanterns. This saved me time of having to measure each piece separately. The next step in the process is to take 2 pieces from each box and rid 1/2 inch from each side. Cutting one board twice seems like a little extra work. Setting my fence to 1 inch and making one cut would be simple. This will reduce the amount of time I need at the table saw. I chose to do it this way for a few reasons. First, most of the fence pickets had a cup in them. I figured that cutting a piece on each side would help reduce that cup. Second, the side agreement of the pieces would show in the front and the back sides of the lantern. I would run the risk of having a clean side and a rough side exposed. I feel like taking this extra step would help make the lanterns look cleaner. Alright, so once you're done cutting 1/2 inch strips off some of these, you're left with 44 1/2 inch cedar sticks. You can get creative with these and probably make another project. My wife thought about maybe like a little miniature spiral Christmas tree, kind of like the ones I did last year. I don't know, but these could also probably bundle together and sold as like kindling sticks. But I don't know if you can burn cedar. Alright, so this is probably the most time-consuming part of this entire process, is cutting out the faces. Now, I said earlier that I didn't use a CNC or a laser on these things, kind of. So I found some templates online that I really liked, and I had a local buddy from Northern Net Woodworking who has a laser engraver. I asked him to cut me some templates, and I've got the templates for all the faces, right? So the caveat to that is these look very precision, but the smallest router bit that I could find that has a flush trim bit on it is a 1/4 inch bit. So I'm not going to be able to, get into these corners well. But if you take a look at a similar pumpkin, right, and compare it to that face, that's not bad. That's doable. That's really good. It's got the round corners and stuff like that, but it still looks good enough for people to buy. So yeah, a little more work than a standard CNC or whatever, but you know what? I'm okay with that. So with these particular ones, they're obviously not the same length of the board, but they are the kind of the same width. And I think I figured it out. It was about an inch. No, it's 1.25 inches top and bottom. It's kind of centered on these, and they don't have to be precise, but that's how you do it. Double-sided tape. Gotta put some of this stuff on. Now these are MDF templates. Acrylic would probably be a whole lot better, but I went with what was ever cheaper and easier for my buddy to be able to do. And this is just 1/4 inch MDF. So I might be going a little excessive on the double-sided tape, but you know, I'd rather be cautious.
A little while later, as I made more of these lanterns, I had my buddy recut my templates. I asked him to make a few changes. As you can see, they're a bit larger. The length is the same size as the workpiece. This makes the process quicker and safer for me. These new templates only require 2 large pieces of double-sided tape to attach the template to the workpiece. The larger piece of tape allows for more surface contact. If you have one, I recommend running one side of the fence picket through the planer to clean it up. This also helps increase the surface area of the tape. All I'm doing here is taking my piece to the drill press and drilling a hole in each section. The hole needs to be slightly bigger than my drill bit so it doesn't bind up when I start it. So I'm providing 2 different perspectives here. Big thing about this is this kind of does require some advanced router technique skills. If you haven't really used a flush trim bit before in the past, this is probably not something for you. You probably should work on a different project first before you start doing something like this. Typically, when you're using a router, the piece needs to go from right to left, especially using a router that's mounted in a table like this. I have my dust collection vacuum here kind of on the side to kind of help push dust away. I don't have dust collection built into my table right now, so the chips were kind of flying everywhere. To cut these templates, I'm using a 1/4 inch flush trim bit. I got 2 different bits. I got one that was a spiral upcut, and then I got one that was a compression bit. I tried both of them to see if one would throw less chips than the other. There wasn't really a difference, but what I will say is that the compression bit provided a smoother surface on the workpiece for both the top side and the underside of the piece. So I recommend using a compression bit for this. I'll have links in the description for the bits and tools that I use if you are interested.
Alright, all the carving for the faces is done. That took me probably about an hour, nothing too crazy. So next I'm going to start building the boxes. Alright, so I took one of my spare pieces here and found center and pre-drilled a hole here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and pre-drill holes for all the tops of the lanterns so I don't have to make all these marks on them. There you go, pretty easy. I'm about to make the dowels for each of the lids, and I've got like a little mark right here on my table so I can make quick cuts. Just, they don't have to be perfect, just enough for me to get referenced and go to town on.
Alright, so nothing fancy here. I'm just taking a screw and attaching the dowel to the top of the jack-o'-lantern with my pre-drill holes. I also pre-drilled the dowels.
Alright. We're all ready for assembly. Let's do it. Alright, since these are mainly going to be for outside, got some type on glue. Inch quarter brad nailer for my finger, and some pieces. And let's get to work. Alright, so they're assembled at least. They don't look too bad. Open bottoms so you can put the tea light in, or if you can stack it too if you want to. A few of these have got a paint orange or stain orange, so I'll do that now.
There's really nothing fancy about this process. This lantern is one that I had skip planed before I painted it, so when you see it later on, you'll see all the grain kind of pop out, which is really nice. But what I do first is I paint inside the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, just to show that so it looks better, I guess. And then I go on to painting the face and then the rest of the lantern. Now for this one, I use the Fiesta Orange from Linwax. It's a solid color stain. And then I use tea green for the stem. You can get those at the place that sells those, and those are the colors that I used.
Alright, so I'm going to slide in here real quick and talk about my Frankenstein designs. So the unfinished version looks just like a pumpkin. I'll put a stem on top and nothing too fancy, right? For the finished version, instead of painting it orange and leaving the stem green, my wife came up with the idea to actually make it look like a monster. So, came up with this. The base is green, the top is black, and then the two little electrical bolts are black as well. And all I did was saw one of those dowels in half to make the bolts, and then basically the same attachment method as this, just pre-drill and screws and stuff like that. Use Minwax, solid color stain for this. So black for the top, this is tea green for the base. And then for all my orange jack-o'-lanterns, I used Fiesta Orange. Alright, now that you've seen how I build my jack-o'-lanterns, let me go over some of the numbers that I said I was going to at the beginning of the video. So these numbers are for September 1st through September 30th, which is basically before October, about the time where people want to start buying decorations for Halloween. So in total, I have sold 54 of these jack-o'-lanterns. 17 of them were unstained like this, nothing too crazy, and then 37 of them were stained like you see here. Now each jack-o'-lantern came with a free LED tea light. I got these off of Amazon, and I provided multiple colors. All right, so the colors I offered were red, blue, green, and white. Most people chose white because it gave that orange glow off at night. They kind of flicker too. I'll try to put on the screen somewhere around here or there some statistics on what design sold better. But I will say that the spooky face, which I don't have any displayed here, sold the most with 16 lanterns, and then the winky face, which is this guy right here, came in second at 13. As far as marketing goes and all this other stuff, I posted stuff on my Facebook page, and I kind of shared it to local community groups. I did have these displayed at a local craft show at the end of August, and we got 2 orders from that. But after I got those orders, I started pushing this really heavy on Facebook. Within the last month, I probably have gotten about 30,000 reaches. I have no idea what that means. But the initial post that I posted for these got about 5,700 reaches, 77 reactions, 17 comments, and 13 shares. And then I paid for a ad that ran for 7 days, about $100-ish, just because I was making some money on it for a local engagement, and I got an additional 5,400 reactions with 10 conversations started. I have no idea if, I'm pretty sure I got a few sales from that advertisement, but I don't think it was worth doing so. Another thing I did also was kind of do like a Facebook Marketplace post. I got a few sales out of that too, which was no cost to me to put this stuff up on Facebook Marketplace. Now I sold them for, in my area, unstained here, $25. If you got 2, it would be $35. And then I added a $5 upcharge for the stain, for the pumpkin stain here. So most people, 37 pumpkins for 37 jack-o'-lanterns were stained, so I was able to get that $5 upsell on that stuff. So with all the jack-o'-lanterns sold, the 54 jack-o'-lanterns without staining, I made $945. With the upcharge of staining, I got an additional $185, which came out to a total of $1,130 before taxes. I have to charge sales tax in my state, so what I ended up doing is for most of the transactions, I went ahead and added in the tax in addition to the price. So these are kind of like gross numbers, and I don't have to worry about the taxes since I've already charged those. 35 cedar fence pickets from my local home center to be able to make 54 jack-o'-lanterns. At my local center, they're about $2.98 a piece. It's kind of funny, depending on what county I go to, they're $1 more, a couple dollars more, but I've been able to find a box store that has them at $2.98. I used 1 1/8 inch dowels for this, and I bought 3, which one I didn't end up using. Each of those were $5.71. It was Poplar, that's the only one that they had, that particular one. If it was made out of pine, I'm sure it would have been a little less expensive. And then I used wax solid color stain on everything, and I bought Fiesta Orange for the base of the jack-o'-lanterns. This green here is green tea. After 37 lanterns, this thing is almost empty. So there's that. Cost, unfortunately the price has gone up in my area, and they cost $16.98 per can. So there's that. So I had to buy 2 of these. I already had the black, so I don't have to worry about that. What's good about the green is I still got most of this left. This will be great for some Christmas projects that I have coming up. So grand total, my supplies all in, at least in addition to what I had to purchase, cost me $155 roughly. So with the combined income of $1,130, take away the cost or the materials, $155, I got about $974 out of this. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm sorry about the quality of the video. I'm still pretty new at doing stuff like this and editing and all this other stuff, so I do apologize for the crudeness of it. Hope you guys learned something. Please like, share, and subscribe. So, Northern Richmond. Richmond, Richmond. It's all out. Most of the people are the jack-o'-lanterns came with a free LED tea light, nothing crazy, off of Amazon. Each each jack-o'-lantern came with a free LED tea light. I got these off of Amazon. I think they're like 24 pack. I think they're like 24 pack. Now each jack-o'-lantern came with a free tea light. As you see here, free LED tea light. The colors that I offered were blue. Wow. Most people chose white because it gave off that orange glow when the LED, or when the most people son of a gun.